Today we're specifically talking about what are called arithmetic sequences, not arithmetic sequences. We say arithmetic. In an arithmetic sequence, each term is determined by adding a number to the previous term. So it's when you add every time. And you have to add the same number. Technically, we could also say subtracting. Okay. Adding or subtracting. Like this would be arithmetic because I added 2 every time. The common difference is that number being added. So if I ask you for the common difference, I'm asking you for the number that it's adding every time. In arithmetic sequences, it has to be the same number. Like you're not going to do plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. It has to be plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2 all the time. Or plus whatever. So here in number 1, we have a few things we're doing. First off, we're even looking to see if it's arithmetic. Is it adding or subtracting the same number every time? If it's yes, then I'm going to put, well, what is the common difference? And I'm going to write out the next 3 terms. It's very important that you look at all the numbers all the way across because I might try to trick you and it might be plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 4. You got to check all the way. So what do you add to 5 to get to 8?
3.
Okay, so that's plus 3. From 8 to 11? 3. 11 to 14? 3. 14 to 17? 3. So it added 3 every time. So that means that yes, it is arithmetic. My common difference, we just put D equals 3. And then my next 3 terms, I'm going to add 3 more times. So what would come after 17?
1.
Then what?
1.
And 26. Very good. Those are the next 3 terms. Number 2. 23 to 16. So these numbers are getting smaller, so it would have to be a negative number. So 23 to 16 is negative 7. So let's just see. So you can think of it 2 ways. 23 minus 7 is 16, or 23 plus negative 7. Same thing. If I add negative 7 again, I get 9. If I add negative 7 again, I get 2. Do it again, I get negative 5. So did I have the same pattern all the way across? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was subtracting or adding negative 7, not multiplying, not dividing. So that means that yes, it is arithmetic. My common difference is negative 7. And then you need to find the next 3 terms. Negative 5 minus 7. Negative 12. Then what? Very good. I want you to try numbers 3 and 4 on your own. If it is not arithmetic, just put no and move on. Number 3, is it arithmetic?
No.
It's not, because look, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Okay, I'm adding 1. But is 3 plus 1 5? No, that's plus 2. So it does not follow the same pattern, so you just put no and you move on. Number 4, how do I get from -6 to -8?
You add -2.
You add -2, or you subtract 2. So -2. -8 to -10, -2, -2, -2. So it is going down by 2 every time. So yes, it is arithmetic. My common difference is -2, and then my next 3 terms would be -16, -18, and -20. One way, if you can't kind of look at the numbers and tell what the common difference is, let's go back up here. You can take any term minus the previous term. So any term minus the one before it would give you your common difference. So for example, if I look at number 2, let's start with -5 minus the one before it, I get -7. If I do 2 minus 9, I get -7. If I look down here at question number 4, -8 minus -6, I get -2. I could do -12 minus -10, I get -2. So any term minus the one before it is a way to get your common difference. Now we're going to write our own formulas. So in 4.1, I gave you a formula and I said you're going to be writing your own. When you have an arithmetic sequence, your formula is AN equals. AN just basically means any term in my sequence. If I want to find a term, here's the formula that I use. We start with A1. What is A1? What does that mean? Not A1 sauce.
The first term.
It's the first term. So it's A1 plus D. And what does that stand for?
How much you add every time?
Yep, the common difference. And then beside of that in parentheses, we do n minus 1. So when you are writing a formula, you basically have 2 things to plug in. The first term and the common difference. And then you'll have the formula that allows you to find any term that you want. So here in number 5, we're first going to write the explicit formula and then find a specific term. In order to write my formula, I need 2 things. I need A1 and I need my common difference. What is A1? 23. What is my common difference?
7.
7. to find my formula, my explicit formula, it's going to be AN equals A1, which we said was 23, plus my common difference, which is 7, and then in parentheses, I'm going to leave N minus 1. When you're asked to find a formula, N has to be there. Okay, so this is your formula. That's the formula that will help us find any term in this sequence. What specific term am I asking you to find? The 16th term. So I'm asking you to find A16. So what you're going to do is plug in 16 for N. So A16 equals 23 plus 7 times 16 minus 1. And you're just going to type that in your calculator. 23 plus 7, and then in parentheses, 16 minus 1 gives you 128. So the 16th term in that sequence is 128. I could keep doing plus 7, plus 7, plus 7, plus 7, plus 7 a whole bunch of times, but the formula might be faster. If I asked you for like the 160th term, the formula would definitely be faster. So let's look at number 6. What is my A1? 11. And my common difference? 10. Very good. So we're going to write the formula. And all I'm going to do is fill in the first term, fill in the common difference. And that formula will let us find any term in this sequence. AN equals 11 plus 10, and then I leave N minus 1. And I can check that, like I can check to make sure I've got it right. If I plug in my first term, I plug in a 1 for N. I get 11. That's my first term. If I plug in a 2, I should get 21. 11 plus 10, 2 minus 1. I get 21. If I plug in a 3, I should get 31. And I do. And a 4 would give me 41. So we're going to plug in a 25 because I want to know a 25 means what is the 25th number in this list. So A25 is 11 plus 10 times 25 minus 1. And we get 251. Are there any questions? All right, number 7, we're doing the same thing. Write a formula So we're going to start with the first term and the common difference. And I'm going to be calling on you. So go ahead and write down the first term and the common difference. So, Clayton, what is my A1? Yep. A1 is my first term. The first number in my list is -5. Very good. All right, Alexander, what is my common difference? 4 is correct. Okay. So next, I'm going to fill in my A1 and D into my formula. And I get what? Patience. AN equals?
-5 plus 4. And then in parentheses and -1.
Very good. -5 plus 4. And then in parentheses, n minus 1. Very good. And then it's asking for my 24th term. So I'm not looking for an answer yet. You're just going to tell me how am I going to find the 24th term. And Amanda, what am I going to do to find the 24th term?
-5 plus -4. And then in parentheses 24 minus 1.
Yep. So we put a 24 in the spot for n because I'm finding the 24th term. And Lincoln, what does that give me? Okay, go ahead.
87.
87. Do you all agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, number 8. Go ahead and write down A1 and your common difference. Creed, what is my A1? 20. If that's the question you get the easiest question. And then we're going to do our common difference. So how do you get from 20 to 11? And then from 11 to 2? I am going to call on somebody. Rocky. -9. And then we will fill those into our formula. And I'm going to show you on this one, it's a teensy bit different. AN equals, it's A1. And then normally it's plus our common difference. But I don't want to put plus -9. What could I put instead of having a plus negative? Just a minus 9. And then n minus 1. Don't really want to ever put plus negative. Plus negative is the same thing as minus. So 20 minus 9 and then n minus 1. And then I'm asking you to find the 15th term. So you have to put a 15 in for n. And so type that in, and I'm going to call on someone to tell me what you get. 20 minus 9, and then 15 minus 1. All right. And Axton, what do you get when you type that in the calculator? Negative 106. Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want you to do numbers 9 and 10, and I expect to see all of this stuff, not just a final number. So number 9, your A1 is negative 12. What's your common difference? 7. Yep. Especially when negatives are involved and you're like, I don't know. Remember, you can take any term and subtract the one before it. Do 9 minus 2. You get 7. So that means that your formula, your AN, your explicit formula, is negative 12 plus 7, and then in parentheses is n minus 1. Yes?
Where does the 1 come from?
That's just part of the formula. Well, we use a 1 here because we used A1.
Okay.
So we use our first term. We'll actually talk about that a little bit later. But the n minus 1 is always there.
Okay.
And then your 48th term is negative 12, hold on, plus 7, 48 minus 1. What's your question?
How did you get 48?
Because it says find A 48,
Okay.
so that's the one I'm trying to find. And what do we get when we plug in 48?
317.
317.
And that has all of that.
Do you all agree?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Number 10.
You got number 10.
Zach, what is your A1?
Negative 14.
Negative 14. Good. What's your common difference?
Negative 30.
Negative 30. If you don't know, pick one of these terms. Negative 74 minus the one before it. Negative 44. Negative 30. So my AN formula, AN equals A1, and then my common difference is negative 30, so I'm going to put minus 30, and then in parentheses, n minus 1. And my problem asks me to find the 29th term, so I'm going to do A29 by putting a 29 in the spot of n. What'd you get?
Negative 850.
Negative 854?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody agree?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Alright. Now, the next types of questions you're going to see, I'm going to give you two random terms and ask for the common difference. So, the whole pick one and subtract the one before it's not going to work because you don't have two in a row. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a formula that's basically the slope formula that you learned. You're going to have a fraction.
Can you move it down a little bit? There's a glare. It's worse. Huh?
Your common difference on the top of the fraction. Huh?
It was him.
Ooh, I really didn't hear it, so
Oh,
That's a very bad name.
I'll say it.
no, we don't need to say it.
Oh, I'll say it.
No. The common difference, you have a fraction. On top of the fraction, you're going to subtract these bigger numbers. 3 minus negative 7. You subtract the bigger numbers. When I say bigger, I'm literally meaning like the ones that are big, not the fact that 3 is bigger than negative 7. Like these numbers out here. And then on the bottom, you subtract